Ever wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all, even after, a full 8 hours?
Hmm.
Or maybe you've heard whispers about CPAP machines and wondered, like, could that be the key?
Yeah, what's all the buzz about, right?
Exactly. So today on Bikeman Tech, we're doing a deep dive into one specific device, the ResMed AirSense 11 AutoSet CPAP.
Yep. This one's designed specifically to tackle sleep apnea and hopefully really boost your sleep quality.
We've been digging through, well, pretty much everything. ResMed's own info, user reviews, the lot.
Right, trying to get the full picture for you. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding the AirSense 11,
Yeah, we're going to unpack its auto-adjusting pressure thing, look at how user-friendly it is, the app,
how it travels. Portability is important.
for sure. And we won't shy away from the, let's say, quirks or potential drawbacks people have mentioned.
Got to cover those too.
Okay, ready to get started.
Let's do it.
So, first things first, what is the ResMed AirSense 11 AutoSet CPAP, like, fundamentally?
Okay, so in simple terms, it's a device for sleep apnea. It delivers positive airway pressure, PPAP, basically air, to keep your airway open while you sleep.
Right, the basic CPAP idea.
Exactly. But the clever bit here is the AutoSet part. So unlike, older machines that just give you one fixed pressure,
Uh-huh.
this one actually monitors your breathing, like constantly through the night. And it adjusts the pressure automatically in real time based on what you need right then.
Ah, okay. So it's not just hitting you with the same pressure whether you need it or not.
Not at all. Much smarter. It's part of ResMed's latest series, the AirSense 11 series. And this AutoSet model, it's really built for adapting.
Adapting to you.
Precisely.
Like,
So it's good if you're just starting with CPAP,
Mm.
or even if you're an experienced user who maybe needs different pressures at different times.
makes sense.
And it's got this digital health side too with the MyAir app. We'll definitely get more into that later. But it adds another layer of support and tracking.
Okay, so if you've got that sleep apnea diagnosis and CPAP is recommended, this automatic adjustment feature sounds like a pretty big plus.
It can be, yeah.
So what else makes this AirSense 11 stand out, like compared to other options? What are the, key features?
Right. There's several things. First, as we touched on, that AutoSet mode. But there's also an AutoSet for her mode.
Oh, interesting. What's different there?
Well, it uses a specific algorithm. It's designed around the breathing patterns often seen in women with sleep apnea. Turns out sleep apnea can show up a bit differently.
Huh. So it's not just marketing, there's actual different logic working there.
That's the idea, yes. Then, a really big one for comfort.
Hmm.
The integrated heated humidifier.
Ah, yes. The dryness issue.
Exactly. This helps combat that. You can set the humidity level manually, like 1 to 8, or if you use their spherical heated tube, the Climate Linear,
Hmm.
it can run automatically. It aims for about 85% relative humidity.
Mhm.
That can make a huge difference in preventing that dry mouth or throat feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine. That dryness sounds like it would make you want to just rip the mask off. So humidity control sounds pretty crucial for sticking with it.
It really is for many people. And speaking of making it easier to stick with, there's the MyAir app.
Right, you mentioned that. What does it actually do?
It's more than just seeing your sleep score. It tracks your sleep data, obviously, but it also gives personalized coaching. There's something called the personal therapy assistant.
Coaching, like tips and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And troubleshooting help too, through a feature called Peer Check-in. It's kind of like having a sleep coach right on your phone.
Okay, so it tries to help you understand the data, not just dump numbers on you.
That's the goal,
Yeah.
to be a partner in your therapy. The machine itself also has a pretty nice color touchscreen. Makes navigating the settings much easier than older button-based systems.
Okay.
And something you or maybe your partner will definitely appreciate.
Hmm.
Quiet. Really quiet.
How quiet are we talking?
ResMed specs it at 27 decibels. For context, your average CPAP is around 30 decibels. It might not sound like much, but in a quiet bedroom,
Yeah, every decibel counts. That's quieter than a whisper, basically.
pretty much a big win for light sleepers.
Definitely. What about travel? You mentioned portability earlier.
Good question. Yes, it's FAA approved, so taking it on plane is fine.
Okay.
It also has a feature called Auto Ramp. This starts the pressure off really low when you first put the mask on, helps you fall asleep more naturally.
So it doesn't hit you with full pressure right away.
Exactly. Then it gradually increases to your prescribed level once it senses you've actually fallen asleep.
Smart.
And another comfort feature, expiratory pressure relief, or EPR. This slightly lowers the pressure when you breathe out, makes exhaling feel less like fighting against the airflow.
Okay, yeah, that sounds much more comfortable. These all sound like really practical features. And connectivity, you mentioned it connects.
Yep. Built-in Bluetooth, and cellular. So your sleep data can be automatically sent to your doctor or provider if you set that up.
Handy.
And it also means the machine can get software updates over the air, so it stays up to date without you having to do anything.
Okay, wow. That's quite a list of features. Now, shifting gears a bit, what's it actually like? The design, the build quality, what's it feel like on the nightstand?
Well, aesthetically, it's pretty sleek, modern look, black and white mostly.
Mm-hmm.
The color touchscreen is bright, easy to read, and the humidifier tank, the water chamber, it's transparent, so you can easily see the water level.
That's useful.
The materials feel pretty durable. Most users seem to find it fairly easy to clean, too.
Ah, I feel a butt coming.
We did see some less positive feedback on the design side, right? Particularly that humidifier tank.
That's true, yeah. While the overall build seems solid, that humidifier tank insertion, it seems to be a common frustration point for some users.
Fiddly, you mean?
Fiddly, hard to click in properly, maybe prone to spilling if you're not careful. We even saw some reports, though hard to verify the numbers, mentioning a sort of higher than expected failure rate for the tank itself, like needing replacement. Okay. Good to know. Anything else on the design front?
One of the things some users noted, especially those coming from the older AirSense 10 model,
Yeah.
the hose connection point on the AirSense 11 doesn't swivel. The AirSense 10s did. So some people miss that flexibility.
Ah, okay. A small detail, but maybe annoying if you were used to it. So, looks good, mostly well built, but maybe a couple of handling quirks. What about size? Is it bulky?
Not really, no. It's quite compact, actually. Let me check the numbers. Roughly 10.2 inches long, 5.5 wide, 3.7 high, and it weighs about 2.5 pounds.
So, pretty small footprint.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the travel aspect we talked about.
Okay.
And it does come with a 2-year warranty on the main unit and the power supply, which is, decent peace of mind.
Right. Okay, so features, design, now the big one, performance. Does it actually work? How effective is it at treating sleep apnea?
Well, the main goal, right, is reducing your AHI, the apnea-hypopnea index. That's the measure of how many times your breathing stops or gets really shallow per hour.
Lower is better?
Lower is definitely better. And based on reports, the AirSense 11 seems very effective here. We saw examples like a new user whose AHI dropped from, say, 39, which is quite high, down to 9 on their very first night.
Wow, that's a big difference straight away.
It can be, yeah. And the pressure range it covers, 4 to 20 centimeter H2O, that's suitable for most people. Plus that auto adjustment capability really helps fine-tune the pressure throughout the night to keep that AHI low.
And that whisper quiet claim, does it hold up in reality?
Seems like it mostly does, yeah. That 27 decibel rating makes it noticeably quieter than a lot of other CPAPs.
Yeah.
Users generally report it's very quiet.
Good.
And all those comfort features we mentioned, the auto ramp, the EPR for easier exhaling, the temperature and humidity control with the heated tube, they all contribute to making the therapy more tolerable.
Which means you're more likely to actually use it every night.
Exactly. Consistency is key with CPAP therapy.
So it generally performs well, but did we see any performance hiccups mentioned in user feedback, like initial setup issues?
We did see some mentions, yeah. Some users found initial challenges, for example, with the EPR setting. Apparently, it can sometimes default to being off, level 0.
And that would feel
Pretty uncomfortable when you try to breathe out against the pressure, like hitting a wall.
ouch. Okay.
And some report the humidifier maybe not performing quite as expected right away. But the good news is these often seem solvable. Adjusting the EPR setting, maybe tweaking humidity levels, or specifically using that climate linear heated tubing seems to resolve many of these initial bumps.
So a bit of setup and maybe some tweaking might be needed initially for some people?
Yeah, it really underlines the importance of, taking time with the settings, maybe working with your doctor or sleep tech to get it dialed in just right for you.
Makes total sense.
Okay.
Okay, for the tech enthusiasts listening, or just those who like the details, can we run through the key technical specs, the nitty-gritty?
Absolutely. Let's hit the main points. Pressure range, 4 to 20 centimeters H2O.
Okay.
Noise level, that quiet 27 dBA. Dimensions, again, roughly 10.2 by 5.5 by 3.7 inches. Weight, 2.5 pounds.
Got it.
Power supply. It uses a 65-watt adapter. Humidity control. You've got manual settings 1 through 8, or that auto setting aiming for 85% RH with the climate linear tube.
And temp control with that tube, too.
Yep. Temperature control between 60 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, again, requires the climate linear. Connectivity, it's got Bluetooth, cellular, and Wi-Fi built in.
All three. Okay.
Yeah. And warranty, as mentioned, is 2 years.
Right. So pretty well spec'd for a modern device. Now imagine you've just bought one. What actually comes in the box? What do you get to start with?
Okay, when you unbox it, you'll find the AirSense 11 AutoSet machine itself,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
Standard slimline hose, that's the non-heated one. The water chamber for the humidifier. The power supply cord and brick. One disposable filter to get you started. A user guide,
Always good to read.
hopefully, and a travel bag. So the essentials are there.
Okay, sounds pretty complete, but wait. There's one really crucial thing that's not in there, isn't there?
Yes. Very important point. The mask is not included.
Right. You have to buy that separately.
Correct. You need to purchase your mask and headgear separately. The good news is the AirSense 11 is compatible with most standard CPAP masks, especially ResMed's own line. But yeah, factor that extra purchase in.
Crucial clarification. So, beyond what's in the box and besides the mask, are there any accessories people often add? Or maybe bundles available?
Yeah, definitely. That Climate Linear 11 heated tubing is probably the most popular add-on for the enhanced humidity and temperature control.
Makes sense, given the comfort benefits.
Totally. You can also buy replacement parts easily, extra water chambers, filters, power supplies if needed. And, as we said, masks and headgear are separate purchases. It's worth noting sometimes retailers do offer bundles.
Oh,
Yeah, package deals that might include the machine, maybe a popular mask, the heated tube, extra filters, something like that. It's always worth checking those out. Could save you a bit of money or hassle.
good tip. Look for bundles. Okay, let's talk usability. Living with it day to day. How easy is this thing to actually use?
ResMed seems to have put a real focus on making it user-friendly. That color touchscreen is pretty intuitive. Clear icons, simple navigation, mostly.
Okay.
And the My Air app is a huge part of the ease-of-use story. It offers guided setup when you first get it, like step-by-step instructions.
That's helpful for newbies.
Definitely. Plus, troubleshooting tips right in the app if you hit a snag. And that personal therapy assistant we mentioned, it can give you voice-guided help with setup and getting used to the therapy.
Voice guided. Wow.
Yeah. There's even a test drive feature in the app. Lets you try out the pressure for short periods while you're awake, just to get accustomed to the feeling gradually. It's all about reducing that initial intimidation factor.
Sounds like they've really thought about the onboarding experience, especially for first-time users.
They have. Now, that being said, we still saw that feedback about the humidifier tank being potentially tricky for some.
Right, the spilling or seating issues.
Exactly. And a few users, particularly those used to older models, did say they missed having physical buttons for quick adjustments rather than relying solely on the touch screen.
Okay, so generally user-friendly, especially with the app's help, but maybe not perfect in every physical interaction for everyone?
That seems like a fair summary. Yeah.
All right, let's talk money, cost. What's the ballpark price for this, and is it good value?
Okay, the typical retail price you'll see is around $1,354.
Which is, yeah, a significant amount.
It's definitely an investment, but, and this is a big but, it's a medical device. So it's often covered, at least partially, by health insurance. Medicare, most private insurers.
Ah, right. So that sticker price might not be what you actually pay out of pocket.
Exactly. You absolutely need to check with your insurance provider. But considering the tech, the auto-adjusting pressure, the integrated heated humidifier, the app support, many feel it offers good value compared to other advanced CPAPs.
And financing.
Some retailers do offer financing options too, which can help spread the cost out.
Worth looking into. Okay, always good to check insurance first. What about backup if something goes wrong? Customer support, warranty, what's the situation there?
So we mentioned the 2-year warranty on the device and power supply.
Yeah.
Important to know the exclusions, though. It typically doesn't cover things like accidental damage, water damage, unauthorized repairs, damage from smoke.
Standard stuff, mostly.
Mostly. One specific call-out is damage caused by ozone cleaners. Some people use those for CPAP sanitation, but ResMed explicitly says ozone damage voids the warranty.
Ooh, good to know. So avoid ozone cleaners with this.
Seems like the safe bet.
Mm.
Also, the warranty is non-transferable. Only applies to the original buyer.
Okay, and getting help.
ResMed has official customer support channels, website, phone lines, etc. And the My Air app itself has built-in troubleshooting guides and resources you can access directly.
Right, so support is there. Now let's bring it all together. How does this AirSense 11 actually fit into someone's life? What's the real-world impact?
Well, the bottom line, based on user experiences, seems to be a potentially significant positive impact on sleep quality for people with sleep apnea.
Feeling more rested, more energy,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Exactly. Many users report those kinds of benefits. The MyAir app seems genuinely helpful for that adjustment period, providing daily feedback and encouragement. Keeps people engaged with the therapy.
Yeah, that feedback loop sounds useful.
And its physical characteristics, the small size, the quiet operation, make it pretty unobtrusive on the nightstand. Plus, being travel-friendly means therapy doesn't have to stop when you go away.
Consistency, right.
Right. And while some users hit those initial snags, like discomfort with pressure or humidity,
Huh.
many find they can resolve those issues by tweaking the settings, like turning up the EPR, or by using that heated tubing. So there's often a solution.
Okay, so maybe a learning curve for some, but the potential payoff in better sleep seems real for many. Let's try and crystallize this. Can we summarize the main pros and cons?
Sure, let's do a quick rundown. Pros. It's really quiet. The auto-adjusting pressure is effective and responsive. The touchscreen and the MyAir app are generally user-friendly and helpful. It's compact and genuinely travel-friendly. And it's FAA approved.
Okay, sounds good. And the cons?
The main ones seem to be centered around that humidifier tank, the handling, potential seating issues, and the fact that some users experience initial performance issues, whether it's getting the pressure comfort right or the humidifier working optimally. But again, important to stress these aren't universal problems and often fixable.
Got it. Lots of upsides, but be mindful of the humidifier situation and potential initial adjustments. What about overall sentiment? What are actual users saying in reviews and feedback?
Generally, the vibe is positive. People praise the comfort, especially compared to older machines sometimes. They notice the effectiveness, lower AHI, feeling better. And the MyAir app gets a lot of positive mentions for tracking and motivation.
Like that quote you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the slept like a baby and felt more energetic kind of feedback. That really captures the goal. But on the flip side, the negative feedback consistently brings up the humidifier tank.
Same issues. Seating, water depletion.
Yep. Not seating right, maybe running out of water too fast for some, and we even saw a few mentions of a slight burning smell if it runs dry or after several hours. Not widespread, but notable. And again, some initial discomfort with pressure settings before they get adjusted.
Okay, so mostly positive, but the humidifier tank is definitely the main recurring pain point, it seems. One last area becoming increasingly important, sustainability. Is this device eco-conscious at all?
It's good to see some effort here, yeah. ResMed says they use sustainable and recyclable materials in the device itself.
Okay.
It's also designed for energy efficiency, low power draw. And apparently the packaging uses significantly less cardboard compared to the previous AirSense 10 model.
Reducing waste, good.
And they do have a recycling scheme for their old devices, so they're taking steps to manage the end-of-life environmental impact too.
That's positive. Good to know there's some thought going into that side of things. Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive on the ResMed AirSense 11 AutoSet CPAP.
Right.
It seems like a pretty advanced piece of tech. You've got the auto-adjusting pressure, the heated humidification, that quite involved MyAir app, all aiming to make CPAP therapy more effective and maybe easier to live with.
Exactly. It's portable, generally easy to use, quiet.
But with that caveat about the humidifier tank potentially being a bit fiddly for some users.
Right. That's the main thing to be aware of from the feedback.
Mm.
Overall, though, it represents a clear effort to leverage technology for better sleep apnea management.
For sure. And if you, listening, want to dig even deeper into the specifics.
We definitely recommend checking out two really detailed blog posts. The first one is called ResMed AirSense 11 Auto CPAP, Everything You Need to Know.
Okay.
And the second is ResMed AirSense 11 Auto CPAP, Top 10 Questions and Answers. They cover a lot of ground.
And we've made that super easy for you. Just check the description below this video. We'll have direct links to both of those posts right there.
Perfect. So thinking about all this, the smart adjustments, the app integration, the data,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, what aspects of sleep technology like this? What do you think will be most crucial going forward in shaping our, overall well-being in the next few years? Is this kind of personalized, data-driven therapy? Is this the future for improving sleep for everyone, not just those with apnea?
That's a really interesting question to ponder. Definitely something to think about.